Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
Move to approve.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. HVAC project update.
We're kind of on a little bit of every floor right now, running main lines, so we're kind of bothering everybody. So, it's coming along pretty good. Haven't done a whole lot down in the basement yet, but and we got sheet metal guys still on second floor, and they'll be on second floor for a little bit yet, and then they'll be moving to first floor, which is a little bit less, but still be in everybody's way. But still trying to work with everybody. So,
Yep.
Any questions or anything? Or
How you coming along? You on track?
I think so. Get pretty close. Might be a little bit behind, but once we got our sheet metal crew here, they're starting to catch up, and then when they get caught up, they'll start helping us, and we'll be starting to rock along pretty good. So I'd say we're pretty close to being where we should be anyway.
How about the geothermal field?
I will be finding out tomorrow
Okay.
when they'll be, I'm guessing probably next week they'll be wanting to start. The way the weather looks, it's supposed to be above freezing during the day, and that's what they really want. So
Yep.
Okay.
they'll be, I'm guessing, up here within the next couple weeks. So,
Okay.
yep,
All right. Thank you.
yep, thank you.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from March 6th and also March 12th.
Move to approve.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of claims for payment for March 13th.
Move to approve the claims for payment.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Utility permits and secondary roads. I think there were no utility permits.
And roads are bad.
And yes, and roads are bad. I think Taylor mentioned that he had approved $100,000 for his road crew to purchase rock.
Clean rock.
Yes, clean rock. And so that will be going on the roads, just kind of across the county. No specific areas. Nobody treated any differently than anybody else. So not saying that's going to cure the problem by any means, but it should help somewhat. Recorder's monthly report.
Move to approve the Recorder's monthly report of February 2019.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Change of status auditor's office.
I will move to approve the change of status for Tina Schlemme. She will be a deputy auditor, a salary at $43,665.98. This is a full-time promotion.
Okay. I'll second it. Any other discussion?
She will be taking on the payroll and HR duties as well as keeping real estate duties.
Okay.
The deputy position is 70% of the auditor's salary
All right.
and effective on 3/11 of 2019.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 We'll move to approve the change of status for Rebecca Junker, effective 3/27 of 2019, $35,000 a year, drainage clerk. She's a full-time new hire.
Okay. I'll second that. Let me see. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the resolution, proposal to take bids to convey interest in real property. Daryl, would you like to explain, please?
Yeah, there's a little history here on this piece of property. Back in the early 80s, May Gruis had gifted some land to be used as a park in the town of Cleves. It said that it would be available to the county so long as it was used for a park. The Conservation Board last year determined that it no longer was interested in continuing to maintain it as a park. And so the effort to, I guess, relieve ourselves of that property began. And there was a reversion clause in that gift that it would either go back to May Gruis or the descendants of John Gruis. So we began a search of those descendants. We had some folks that were, I guess, shirt-tail relatives that showed some interest, but we decided we needed to publish notice that we were going to be giving all descendants the opportunity to come forward, because there was no pecking order as to who would have priority. So we just wanted to make sure everybody that wanted to make a claim could make such a claim. And we published that notice last fall, giving people 4 months to come forward to make a claim. No one made a claim. We went back and contacted the person who had showed some interest earlier. They no longer had any interest. We even looked in California, where May Gruis had passed away, to see if there was an estate that would list any heirs, etc. That was a dead end as well. So we're to the point where we just want to relinquish our interest and do it by quitclaim deed, and so asking the board to set it for, take bids and set it for public hearing.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the proposal to take bids and convey the interest in real property.
I'll second it. Is there any further discussion? Jessica?
I read it and I was just curious, is it sealed bids and we're done, or are you going to do what you've done in the past, where you open them and then allow anyone present that has the two highest or four highest bids or whatever to help it? I was just curious.
I don't know.
It's written as sealed bids only, correct?
And is that your intention?
To not.
That it just go to the highest? you know?
Yeah.
That's what we do with the schoolhouse.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
if it turned out that one of the bidders actually was a family member, then we'd have to honor the reversion clause. Or they both could be family members.
So
but
then
if it were the highest bidder and there was no priority because of the reversion clause, then it would just go to the higher bidder.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Nancy, roll
To
call,
answer,
please.
to answer your
Oh.
question, sealed bids.
Thanks for the clarification.
Roll call, Lance.
Aye.
Renee.
Aye. Okay, public comments. Other business? Julie?
Do you mind if I come up?
No, please do.
Just got a quick little 5-minute or less. One of the things I was tasked with when we were talking about Greenbelt Home Care was having a presence at the state capitol and lobbying and talking to our legislators about the lack of funding that we've been receiving. And so an opportunity came from the Iowa Caregivers Association that they were looking for some lobby partners from direct care workers. And so I jumped on that opportunity. They provided a scholarship of sorts where they paid for our hotel and our training on Monday night. We had a 4-hour training on how to prepare and talk to our legislators, what it was going to be like. I brought 2 direct care workers, which are home care aides, my home care aide supervisor and myself. Yesterday, we were able to speak with Annette Sweeney. She was very open and wonderful, took our literature, which I'll provide for you today, and took it to heart so much that she invited the 4 of us onto the Senate floor and announced us at the Senate, and actually made a heartfelt presentation thanking and giving tribute to Greenbelt Home Care in front of all of the Senate yesterday. So I thought,
Oh my gosh.
I took that task and really nailed that one on the head, because that was really, actually it was tearful to me that she talked about how her mother had actually used our services, and she is going to show some support in the media as well. She took pictures and she's going to do a press release and just put vouch Greenbelt for Greenbelt Home Care. A couple of statistics that I wanted to share today, though, that we talked about was the Iowa Caregiving State Funding from 2014 to 2019. In 2017, that was just kind of the average from 14 to 17. It stayed around $276,000 is like what the state average that caregivers received. That has dropped in 2018 to $168,000, and 2019 is at about $173,000. So in the past 2 years, we have dropped our average state funding by over $100,000. That's where this is coming back to the counties. This is what, that gap just can't be met when everything is going up and expenses are going up, but the revenue and the refunding is going down, especially at a state level. So that's really where the MCO stepped in, where that reimbursement has dropped $100,000. So I was glad to see this on statistics that we have that. The other highlight that I wanted to point out was the amount of turnover that is seen in direct care workers. The state average turnover in 2017 was 63% of home care aides or CNAs have a turnover at a facility per year. And the average is $4,000 extra to train somebody to replace them. So if you have 63% of your staff leaving and you have to pay for every new employee above and beyond $4,000. I'm happy to report that there is only 2% of employers with 0% turnover in the state of Iowa, and for direct care workers, and Greenbelt Home Care is one of those. We have, in the past year, have not lost a CNA or home care aide. And so that was, to be in the top 2% in the whole state in that regard, we're doing something right. Now the nurses are a different side, you know, but with the home care aides, we've developed that program. That used to be something that we were at 63% very consistently. This past year, not so much. But the average wages statewide is $9 to $13.22 an hour. 90% are female, and the size of the workforce is 60 to 65,000 employees in the state of Iowa. So I just wanted to give you these highlights and talk about that, and there's 2 sheets there.
Oh, yeah, all right. And if you have extras, I can put them on BJ's desk unless he.
My last 2 there.
All right.
And then finally, I guess we learned about the impact of powerful statements and the 2793 rule. I don't know if anybody knows that rule, but I thought it was really great. So you have to have your impactful statement in 27 words or less. You want it to be 9 seconds or less, and you want to have 3 powerful points. So if you have 9 seconds to speak to somebody, you want to give them 3 powerful points in 27 words or less about what you're talking about. And so our task was, what is a direct care worker? Because I don't think everybody understands what that is. And this is what we came up with yesterday. Paid workers who provide personal care and household support, such as bathing, housekeeping, and meal prep, to enable an independent home life when loved ones are limited. So I think that's the 27-word, 9-second hotspot of what we can provide here at Greenbelt Home Care on the direct worker side.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Great job down there then.
It was very successful, I thought.
And
What's the salary to hourly rate for an RN at Greenbelt Home Care versus a clinic or a hospital situation?
That's really, I'm glad you asked that. Well, direct care workers, that's what we're talking about today, but I will tell you both. We start at $12 an hour. So for direct care workers, that has increased over the past 3 years by about $3 an hour. We were at that $9 rung and that 63% turnover rate. Now we are up to $12 an hour and at 0%. So our RNs, they are salaried. So the starting salary is around $49,000-$50,000. That's pretty typical for a clinic. We're about the same as a clinic, but a lot less than a hospital and a lot less than a nursing home. So if you look at pay, RNs and nursing homes are here, hospitals are here, clinics and home care are here. So we're the lowest paid, but we have the most flexibility. I'd say there's give and take. Home care, we get Monday through Friday for the most part, only every 8th weekend that you have to take the phone. That's really impressive when you're a nurse, where in hospitals or nursing homes, you have 24-hour shifts. So there's just, that give and take balance, pros and cons of both.
And also benefits are different among those.
And benefits are different amongst all
groups.
of them.
Mhm.
And that's what we're trying to equalize. How this whole conversation started was we're trying to get the health benefits better so that even though that lack in pay, it can be brought back up with if you don't have to pay out as much in health insurance. Yes.
You talked about the dramatic drop in compensation at the
Yes.
state level. You referenced the MCOs.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure, is all the money you're referring to then, is that all Medicaid money that is channeled through the MCOs? There's no
Correct.
other programs that come from the state?
That's what this reference was
Okay.
the MCO money.
Right.
Yes, on the average of what we would receive back. It's been a drop about $100,000 in reimbursement. Yes.
I'm not up to par on what Greenbelt does, other than I know you're our public health
Yes.
provider. So what clientele do the nurses see? Like, is it those that have to go to Greenbelt because of the use of the MCO type of insurance,
No.
or?
Actually, we have a very strong pediatric program, which I don't think a lot of people know about. So we have a couple, I'll just start at the beginning. We have a 0 to 5 program called Parents as Teachers, where we get reimbursement from Early Childhood Initiative, ECI. So we have a grant that we work through that. That pays for 2 people to provide these services in the homes, to help parents learn how to be better parents, make sure these kids are getting what they need. And you'd be surprised that it's quite a popular program because there are a lot of parents not providing that. I just wrote a grant this week, and I find out today whether or not we'll get it, and it's for that gap of 6 to 18. And it's for mental health and to be a family advocate. So that Parents as Teachers is great for 0 to 5, but what do you do with an 8-year-old when you don't know how or what? They might have mental health issues, they might need other things, and you don't know how to parent them. There's no programs out there. So I just wrote for that grant that will cover 200 visits over the next year. So hopefully we can get that. We'll find out here this week. And then we also do elderly or all ages. It doesn't have to be elderly. If you, for example, let's say you get an infection in your foot and you get osteomyelitis and you're going to need IV antibiotics to cure this. Instead of going every day to the hospital, to the ER to receive your IV antibiotics, we will have nurses come to your home, and your Blue Cross Blue Shield will cover that. And we have infusion pump balls so that you don't have to have all the equipment in your home. They're already pre-drawn up, and the infusion of the antibiotic will go right into your PICC line. We flush it, we manage it. It's a lot cheaper. It's better for you to stay home. Infection control is way less because you're used to your own germs. You're not going into a clinic or an ER, and it keeps you home. So, and also you can work with that. You can take that infusion ball to work with you if you want to, and we do a lot of creative things like that. We've helped in the jail. We've had IV infusions in the jail where the jail nurses weren't able to perform that, and we did those infusion balls there for infectious people there. Medicare is a big one. I think that's probably 25% of our reimbursements, and that's 65 and older. What we're challenged with right now are all these Medicare supplements or Advantage plans, not the supplements. It's the Advantage plans where your salesman will knock on your door and say, don't you want this AARP or this United Healthcare Medicare because it's cheaper for you, you don't have to pay as much, but then all your benefits get knocked down and you have co-pays with a lot of those. If you have straight Medicare, it's paid 100%, everything is covered. Home care aid, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, nursing, not so much with the Advantage plans. So just something that we're trying to educate the public on as well. Hopefully, I know I babble a lot, but that gives you a better.
I'm curious, like, how people find themselves at Greenbelt, if it's only referral based or if they choose you as their provider over another clinic in town or whatnot.
Sure.
And I'm guessing, like with the example with the infection in my foot, I would be referred to you.
Correct. Most of them come from hospital or clinic referrals. I would say 90% are referred that way. We have a referral source online with Mary Greeley. So if they know that they're from Hardin County, our area, they just put it through the computer. I get a message, please check, you have a referral coming. Hanson's, we work with Vicki Hernandez. She's great. She knows that she'll send them our way. Same with Grundy. We're working on developing relations more with like Story City, like those type of places, but that's part of our marketing plan next year. With the new clinics, making sure that they know what we can do. Because I think a lot of people think we're just here for our older people to keep them in their homes, when we're not. We can
So
do
it's
a
not
lot.
just indigent people,
No.
it's, you have a broad spectrum.
We have a broad spectrum, yeah. Yes.
So with the new proposed federal budget and cuts to Medicare, you could be in real trouble.
Yes, I can.
And
I
so-
just saw that come out, and that makes me want to establish my roots in a home more than being a freestanding home care agency, even more so when I see that, because I do think we are going to need funding help.
So I
There's-
would hopefully expect that Annette Sweeney and you perhaps would speak out against that. Thank you.
Any other questions for Julie? Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It was
thank
very
you.
informative. Any other public comments? Other business? Okay,
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.